Hi, I'm going to react to Saturn films. Part 3. I swear to God, I swear to God, my sister is on my right now. So, okay. See.
If a ship's rope is stretched too tight, it can break and whip back at 700 feet per second, fast enough to cut off a limb. Now, some people think a snapback line can completely cut someone in half, but that's unlikely to happen. The recoil is so strong that it can cut off a person's legs, though, and a more common injury is a snapback line hitting someone in the head.
Okay.
If a ship's rope is stretched
At least it's not brutal.
They blew it into a tube, sending the dart flying into the animal, piercing the hide. And the dart's tip was previously coated with poison from the skin of a dart frog. When it entered the flesh, it quickly entered the bloodstream. As it traveled through the body, it stopped nerves from sending signals. Within seconds, it would become paralyzed. Eventually, the heart would stop beating, killing the animal. They blew it into a
Bro's dead.
A man dressed as Bigfoot walked into a dark highway, hoping to trick the drivers. But his costume was made from a camouflage that made him look like a pile of leaves. And because of this, the drivers didn't see him. He was immediately hit by a car at full speed, knocking him down. A second car swerved to avoid him, but the third ran him over again, and he tragically died. A man
Okay, bro dies just because dressing up as a Bigfoot. Man, let's go check the comments too. Lesson learned, don't dress up as Bigfoot near the highway at night. Yep.
If your hand gets cut off.
Hell nah. Bro, what? Okay, at least they censor it. Bro.
The first thing you should do is stay calm. Immediately apply pressure to the wound and elevate the injured arm above your heart to reduce blood flow. Then locate the severed hand, wrap it in a clean cloth, place it in a plastic bag, and put it in a cooler. Get to a hospital as quickly as possible. Surgeons may be able to reattach your hand if you act fast. If your hand gets cut off, the first thing you The nail tore into his stomach, slicing it open. The story claims they had snuck into a construction site after drinking too much and began to mess around with the equipment. He grabbed a large piece of plastic to use as a slide into the pool, but he didn't see the...
Okay, I thought that was a metal rod for a second.
Nail sticking out. Blood poured as his intestines coiled below him. His friend screamed for help, but it was too late.
Yep, it's already too late. He already died before you even called the police, the ambulance.
Nail, if you swallow a chicken wing...
Bro, I thought that was a thing for a second.
It can lodge in your esophagus, causing you to choke. But if you get it through, the bone's sharp edges might tear the lining on the way down. Once it reaches your stomach, the acid inside tries to break down the bones, but they leave sharp fragments. As they pass through your intestines, the remaining shards of bone can puncture the walls. And if this happens, surgery may be required to repair the damage. If you swallow a chicken...
Lesson learned. Do not swallow the whole chicken wing, or else you fucking need a surgery.
They found hair, bones, and
What the heck? What do you even eat? What the heck? What the fuck is that?
limbs in the man's swollen stomach. You see, he ignored his unusually large stomach for...
Nah, bro, don't tell me you're pregnant, dude. Nah, bro, there's no way.
Years, until severe pain finally sent him to the hospital. Doctors thought it was a tumor, but during surgery, they found something shocking. You see, when he was inside his mother's womb, he had a twin that didn't fully develop.
Wait, what?
And instead of separating, the twin became trapped inside.
Wait, what? Oh, hell nah. That's gonna be painful, dude.
Him, feeding off the man's body for decades. The doctors removed it, and the man made a full recovery. They found hair.
Well, that shit is literally crazy, dude. Not gonna lie. And scary at the same time.
A white spot would be painted over the location of the victim's heart. Archers would then shoot arrows into every part of the body except the head and heart. This prolonged the suffering as the person endured the pain of each arrow piercing their flesh. Finally, after the rest of the body was...
Well, at least he did shoot the... Well, at least he did shoot his balls. Man, that's gonna hurt, dude.
Riddled with arrows, the archers aimed their final shots at the heart, delivering the fatal blow.
Oh, you know what else is fatal? Get the arrow stabbed in the balls is crazy, dude. Like imagine that. Like, imagine the pain.
She stepped backwards, right into the plane's spinning propeller. You see, she'd been photographing skydivers, and after landing, she walked between the propeller and the wing to get another shot. But the engine was still running, and as she lifted her camera, she backed up into the blades. They hit her at high...
Okay, bro's yacht is big.
speeds, causing serious injuries, and even though she was rushed to the hospital, it was too late. She stepped back. Your dog could be attacked by a predator looking for food, but you can dress it in a special vest, which is
What? What the heck? What you want to wear a freaking thing that has a lot of spikes too? That's crazy.
covered in sharp metal spikes. These stick out in every direction, and when the predator tries to grab it, they'll get a painful stab. With no way to grip,
Well, that's gonna hurt.
it's forced to let go, allowing your dog to escape. Just be sure you don't put it on inside out.
Okay, bro. Why do you even do it in reverse, dude? Like literally. Are you stupid?
He began throwing up immediately after drinking his morning coffee. His coworkers also began to feel sick, and some even had severe diarrhea. And when they checked the security footage, they found something shocking. An angry employee had been pouring cleaning spray into the fresh pot. She had been upset at her coworkers and poisoned the coffee for revenge. After getting caught, she was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Haha, lol.
The coal was hollowed out and filled with small explosives and covered back up. Then they were planted in the enemy's coal piles and shoveled into train furnaces. As it burned, the fake coal heated up, causing it to ignite. Once it exploded, the sudden blast ripped through the engines and boilers, and this often caused the train to derail, destroying the enemy supplies. The coal was hollowed out and filled with small...
Are you sure your privacy is safe?
He shoved handfuls of live cockroaches in his mouth during a cockroach eating contest.
It's a cockroach contest. I thought he was a psychopath though. Oh, that's crazy.
As he attempted to swallow them, he suddenly began to choke. The live roaches had caused his throat to constrict, completely cutting off his air supply. The crowd watched as he gasped for air, and he was rushed to the hospital. But it was too late, and he was pronounced dead.
Okay, wolf cockroach eat this on test.
As a fish sucks in water, it flows toward the thin, feathery structures. The gills are covered in tiny blood vessels, which pull oxygen out of the water as it passes through. Now, this oxygen then gets absorbed into the fish's blood. At the same time, the fish releases carbon dioxide and pushes the remaining water out through the slits in its gills. But if a fish is taken out of water, its gills dry out and collapse, making it impossible to breathe.
Haha.
The The warrior chopped off his enemy's head as a trophy after winning the battle. He tied it to his horse and started to ride home. But as the horse galloped, one of the dead man's teeth scraped the warrior's leg. Now, it was just a small scratch, but it soon became infected. Bacteria from the wound spread through his blood, shutting down his organs within days. And while the warrior had killed his enemy, in the end, the dead man claimed the final victory.
Okay, the smile was creepy, not gonna lie.
If you poop out a turd in
Hey, yo!
pool, you could just fish it out and add a little more chlorine to the water. But if you have diarrhea, the
Hey, yo! Bro, what the hell?
runny mess will spread rapidly, and it also contains germs which can survive for days.
Hey, yo!
Even in chlorinated water, you'd need a huge amount of chlorine to kill them all, so better just use the toilet instead.
Bro, what the hell? Bro, I literally see the spook stats like shit, bro. What the fuck is that?
If you poop out a turd in
Bro! Yo, I check your comments. Okay, television for the boss. Bro! Oh, hell no.
I know you.
He slipped from the harness on the tallest free fall in the world, falling 100 feet to the ground below. You see, when he got on, the harness didn't fit, but instead of refusing him,
You're fat.
the operator adjusted the harness to give him extra room. The ride climbed to over 400 feet before suddenly dropping at 75 miles an hour. But the extra space meant the harness wasn't secure, and the boy slipped through the gap. Tragically, he died from his injuries, all because of a simple mistake. He slipped. If your hand gets caught in a meat grinder, the sharp blades inside would start tearing into the skin and tissue, pulling deeper with each rotation. Now, if you try to pull your hand out, it may grip tighter with the resistance. Instead, you should immediately turn off the machine to stop further damage. Then, carefully try to reverse the grinder to get your mangled hand out. If your hand gets caught,
That's gonna hurt, dude.
the elevator jolted violently as she went for a cigarette break. And when she stepped out, the building's door was crammed with people trying to leave. Suddenly, she noticed flaming papers raining outside as people ran for cover. And smoke and fire streamed out of the tower across the street, where a plane had hit it. Then came a second plane, which struck her own building with massive explosion. She finally managed to get out the door, barely escaping as the tower collapsed, meaning the cigarette actually saved her life. The elevator jolted violently as she went for a cigarette break. And when she stepped out, the building's door was crammed. A butterfly's tongue is as thin as a strand of hair and hollow like a tiny straw, and it could be threaded through the eye of a needle. Now, if you took a hippo's tongue and dropped it onto a microwave, it would cover the entire surface. But the blue whale's tongue is so massive that if you plopped it onto a car, the 5-ton muscle would crush the metal completely, flattening it like a pancake. The bear tore into the car, clawing the doors, ripping the seats, and scattering fur everywhere. The car owner reported the attack to his insurance agency, but investigators noticed something strange. Instead of the jagged gashes a real bear would leave, the claw marks were too neat and evenly spaced. When they looked closer at the footage, the bear's movements looked strange. And that's when they found the proof. Pictures of the man wearing a bear costume.
Bro, what?
He had damaged his own car dressed as a bear to get an insurance payout. But
What are you doing?
instead of getting paid, he was arrested. When the bullet hits your skin, it tears the surface and pushes the tissue inward. As soon as it reaches your muscle, the bullet tears through the fibers, which causes bleeding and severe damage. And this is only made worse once it hits your bones, breaking them into sharp pieces which cut through the muscles even more. Once it reaches your vital organs, the bullet rips through, causing huge blood loss. Finally, it'll exit your body, creating a large, jagged wound from the force of the tissue being dragged outward. When the bullet hit,
Well, that guy dies for real. Says bro got hit in the heart, dude. Okay, that's the end. See ya. Sigma, Sigma boy, Sigma.